Pioneers of Esports podcast. Get ready.
Well, I don't even know if I'm centered or not, but whatever. We're pros. Hey, man.
You can edit it.
Yeah, we'll crop it. We'll make it angled, and we'll get the pot back there and the washing things back there. This is the quietest place we could find in this building. Moments after you take the Cleveland Gaming Classic Retro Gauntlet Challenge is NWC, and this is Mike Winzinek, the Cleveland champion for 12 to 17 in the 1990 NWC. He's a stalwart in the CTWC scene. He made it to the finals back in 2012. Yes, where he lost to Jonas, like everybody used to lose to Jonas.
Everybody's lost to Jonas.
Yeah, so you're one of those faces that I had seen all the time. Like, you've been to like Columbus conventions and you Pittsburgh. You played pinball there, and it's like I never did like the face math. You ever have that situation where you know somebody's name and know their face, but you never like put the two together? And you were like talking to me last time. I think it was Korgs or the Torg Summit, and we were talking about CTWC stuff, and then I didn't realize till afterwards, like, oh, that's Mike. Because I'm bad like that, but. Thanks for being on and talking to me and chatting in the kitchen of a weird wedding center.
No problem.
So how do you feel when you win a tournament like this, where you're clearly better than everybody's playing? Although the one guy had a 1-9.
I mean, I've been playing for 30 years now. So the NWC's cartridge is all about Tetris. So I was much better than all the other people in Tetris. There was a couple good players, but I don't know. I just like to compete, so it was fun playing. Yeah,
it's kind of unfair that you're good at your one thing and then you don't get to like show off. It kind of sucks that. I do the same way with my dumb game, so it's even more of an embarrassment.
It's fun coming out to these shows and just competing in anything. So I'm not very good at Dr. Mario. I'm not very good at Tecmo. There's a lot of technical tournaments going on this weekend.
Yep.
So they had the Retro Gauntlet. I'd give it a shot, come out and just hang out for the day and meet up with you and meet some new people, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and rewind back to when you were 17, back in 1990.
Yep, I was a senior in high school, 1990.
Wow. So, kind of how I remember it, like the early 80s, like the Atari age, like everybody was into video games, and then it died. And then Nintendo came back, but really only the kids picked up the Nintendo. So like the kids older than me weren't big Nintendo kids that I remember. It seemed that way. So I was 13 at the time, you were 17. Were there a lot of kids your age playing a lot of Nintendo, or was it kind of like a little nerdy, or what do you think?
I played the Atari 2600 when it came out. I was probably 10-ish at that time. And I never had a system, but my friends always had a system, so I always went over to their house and played. But when I was 15, 16, everybody played Nintendo.
Okay.
NES was huge at that time.
Right.
So like all my friends had it, everybody at school had it. We were always playing NES. So it was huge.
So like the time Tetris comes out about 89, were you immediately good at it, or was it a cool game? What did you think when that came out?
Well, I think I played Tetris on the computer first.
Okay.
Because it came out there, and I remember playing it like on the Apple IIgs at our school.
That's my high school had a computer lab full of Apple IIgs.
Yeah. So I remember playing it there, and then it came out with the NES first or the Game Boy. I think the NES first.
Right about this, I think it was NES like Christmas of '89.
Well, I think.
And then the Game Boy came out. It was back to back though. It was literally about the same time.
Yeah, the Tetris was a packing cart for the Game Boy. So if you got Game Boy, you got Tetris.
Because in my situation, we got Tetris for Christmas in '89, and then my mom loved it so much she bought a Game Boy just for her because she just wanted her own. So that's
the cool thing about the Game Boy though. You can link up with that cable and you can play somebody head to head, which was kind of cool.
Right.
But
a lot of controversy in the CTWC scene about Game Boy Tetris. A lot of people don't like it because the DAS is harder and the stickiness is it's like there's no there's no delay with the new pieces. Like if you notice when you top out, there's that entry delay is gone. But then they did a versus Tetris at I think CTEC, and that was kind of fun to watch because not a lot of those guys play it that much, and the garbage back and forth is
Yeah.
nice because it's the garbage. Plus, it's a race to 25 or 30 lines.
Right. I watched some of that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and because you don't. That makes it a little, the race part makes it fun. When it's just topping your opponent out like in Tetris 99, that can get a little tedious.
Yeah, and you know it's going to be over in maybe 5 minutes, or I don't know how long it lasted, so it's pretty quick.
And Steve Wozniak is a famed Tetris, Game Boy Tetris player, so if we brought it in with CTWC, maybe we get Wozniak.
A side game.
Yeah, just get him to show up. That'd be awesome. We got Paginoff this year, so let's get Wozniak next year. Let's aim high.
I remember in Nintendo Power, he had a little article or a blurb or something about it where he had to show the score and he was on an airplane. Was that him? Right, on an airplane, a red eye from someplace.
Right.
And he had a really
he sent his scores in all the time and they wouldn't take him anymore. So he started sending in his name in spelled backwards. And then they took it then.
That'd be cool. I like to meet Woz. So.
Yeah, no kidding. And I think he'd be up for that. So I'm sure of the 500 people that watch this video, somebody get a hold of Woz. But so you were a kid. It was 1990. You're playing Tetris. So like it was cool when you got it. It was because that kind of seemed like in my house it was my mom's game. She played the Tetris, and then the puzzle games later. So you like immediately took to it?
Yeah, I think I immediately took to it. I have 4 brothers, and none of them played Tetris. Maybe just a little tiny bit, but I was only the one who really played it a lot. My parents never played any video games.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess I was introverted, shy, whatever you want to call it, and I enjoyed playing it by myself. That's what you do.
What was your high score at that point? Because
I did send in some scores to Nintendo Power, and I think it was only maybe 400,000.
Yeah, which is really good.
I don't think I started on level. I always started on level 9 or 0.
Right.
I never did anything.
You'd go for lines at 0. You'd go for score at 9, and then maybe you would learn to do the B type. And then I did 9-5. And I beat this game and didn't pick it up for years after that. That's kind of how I approached it. Mm-hmm. And then, so I take it you had Nintendo Power.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So that's how you
subscription Nintendo.
So that's how you found out about NWC.
Yes.
And Cleveland was the second stop.
Second stop on the tour. 29 cities.
So it was Dallas, then Cleveland. So there's nobody you know in Dallas. There's no internet. So you have no idea what you're going in.
No nothing.
So
exactly.
You go to this thing. We're going in to compete and win. We're going in to just look at the cool new video games. What was your mindset when you bought your ticket and walked through the turnstile? Where was it at? Was it like they have a convention center in town here?
Yeah, there was a downtown. I think they call it Public Hall Convention Center. Me and my brother Brett went, and on a Saturday, I didn't know what to expect. You didn't know really what to expect because this is the first time they ever had something that was that big.
Right.
Nintendo, and I knew I was good at Tetris, and Mario was okay, Red Racer okay. So I don't remember the exact scores that I got the first day to qualify. I know there was different rounds that you had to
it was really low, like 150,000 or 200,000.
Maybe like 700,000.
Yeah, like to qualify to get to the semifinals, it was really low.
Yes.
So then the semifinals are Sunday.
Yes.
I'm going to do this so I can make sure that this is recording because I had instances where I've lost video, so I want to make sure that this thing's actually on. Hey, look at that. Look at us. So you show up on Saturday, I guess, and you pay your $2 to play.
$3, I think.
$3, yeah.
From what I remember or read.
It wasn't very much. It was basically just keep people from playing all the time, just to charge a couple bucks to. And you did well the first time. Like how did it go that first time you played that cartridge?
I think it went pretty well. We didn't know the trick to kill yourself on 1-1.
No.
So we had just to go through 1-1, get the level 1-2, and collect 50 coins.
Yeah, when we talked to Rich Ambler, he said they didn't learn that till like halfway through the tour.
That's
and it was weird. Without the internet, that strategy spread because of those city hoppers and stuff.
Yep.
It really fascinates me about that. But go ahead, you had
the weird thing is, I did not know that until I was in California, and someone else, the under 12 champion from Cleveland, we got together beforehand, went to his hotel room.
What's his name, by the way?
I think it was. I don't know. It was like Adam, I think.
Okay, we should look it up, I guess.
He came in second place.
In
the whole thing.
He lost to Jeff Hansen?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I went to his hotel room and he showed me, and I was blown away because I kept going to 1-2, and I was like, oh, I might be in trouble because I didn't know the trick. Everybody else knew the trick. I didn't know it.
And then Was the Rad Racer developed yet, or probably?
No, I just kind of
Everybody just
played it on the fly. I didn't know the pattern at that at all because I only played it at Cleveland. I didn't go into any other cities. I didn't even think of going to Pittsburgh.
You won. Why would you bother? I mean, I know you're so like since it was the second stop of the tour, so it's like what, spring.
This is March.
So you had like a good 8 months timed in between, and so like that's a long time to be like wait, like were you practicing? What were you thinking this whole time?
I practiced Tetris, but in the fall I went off to college,
Right.
And I kind of wasn't, as excited to play. I don't know. It just like I lost a little bit of interest when I went to college and
Right.
learned, started taking classes, meeting people, hanging out. It's like I'm not playing video games all the time. I heard Robin played 8 hours a day with these other guys. I don't know how.
Well, they were. I think Robin dropped out at some point. That he literally dropped out of school to play video games and Street Fighter and stuff.
Yeah.
But
so I had other things going
you
on.
were like that's the other interesting thing that you graduated high school, and like did anybody ever bring it up like you won this thing? Did they announce it in your school? I mean, it doesn't. That's what video games are seen such as kids things at that point.
Yeah. So after I won the competition in Cleveland, I remember the next day, it was a Monday, and there was a local radio station that called me up because at that time we had phone books. And you could just look up your name in the phone book and call anybody practically. So they called me up. I remember this. I was in the shower. I was like, I'm taking a shower. Tell them call me back. Going to, getting ready for school, and they called me back. So I had like a morning interview on the radio station, Rock 106.9.
Wow, oh, nice.
Yeah.
What was its nickname? What was the rock one? Whatever. But so like the morning zoo, whatever.
Yes, whatever the morning people, they interviewed me because it was on the previous night. It was on the nightly news or the nightly local news.
And being the second stop, they didn't probably have a routine down of what to do with all the winners yet. I would imagine as it went on, they had out press kits to who. This is the stuff I need to learn about. But so they interviewed you. And you were like probably barely awake and senior high school. And were you proud?
I didn't think it was like a big deal.
You weren't really proud of it, were you?
I was like, it didn't seem like a big, huge deal to me. I don't know why. It was just strange.
Do you remember how many kids or how many people were in your semifinal round? Was it the whole stage? Was there two rounds of it?
I remember you got a certain score, and then there was a top 7.
Right.
And then the top 7 went down to the top 2.
Right. So what was it whittled down to go to 7? Was it like 90? Was it?
Oh, I don't know.
Don't know. I'm just wondering how many kids were good at this game that had only been out 4 months. It was in March versus Christmas the previous year.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I did the radio interview. Me, a shy kid, I don't know what's going on. So I just talked to him. Went into school, and people were like, "Oh, I heard you on the radio this morning." I'm like, "Okay, this is kind of weird." Then later in the day, I remember this. Channel 5 News out of Cleveland. A reporter came down. Didn't tell me they were coming down. They just showed up at my school.
At your school, okay.
Just showed up at my school. I got called down to the office. They was like, Channel 5 News wants to do an interview with you.
This is a big deal back before the internet.
Yes.
This is, if you were in the newspaper or local news, that was huge.
I was also in the local newspaper front page, I think.
Wow.
Or it was in the arts and entertainment section, but I was in the front page.
The Indians weren't doing too well, so it's all about Nintendo champions in March.
It was a big deal, I'm telling you. That was a huge deal. So I did an interview with them, went back to my house, I played some games for them, they talked to my parents, and that night it was on the, I don't know if it was 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock news, they had a little segment that they did on me.
Did you record it? Do you still have that?
I do.
We should load that shit.
I don't know.
No?
I have it somewhere.
It needs to be digitized at least. Even if it's not public, we should, it's nice to have all
I know
those
you like
things.
to have all the records and everything.
That's my goal, so sorry if I'm pressuring you.
It was just, it's weird looking back, I think, for me anyways, but it was kind of strange because it was one of those segments where they teased it every commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're going to be talking to, a Nintendo wizard or whatever.
Of course, they got to call him wizard.
Yeah, so I think I interviewed the whole, or taped the whole thing on VHS, and I do have it somewhere. But
yeah, don't let it like dissolve and die, or because it's VHS tapes.
And then the next day, I remember, I don't know what class it was, but the teacher showed it to the whole class. They brought in the TV, they rolled it in, put the tape in, and showed it to the whole class while I was there. And she did to all of her classes.
Oh God, because you're in 12th grade, so you're like the cool up top of the mountain senior type person.
I was a senior.
So I'm just trying to imagine if I was a senior going through something like that.
So that was my 15 minutes of fame, I guess.
Right. But people were cool about it. Nobody's making fun of you for this.
No,
I can't imagine.
No. Everyone was really cool. Some people are pressed and some people didn't give crap, so.
No, but that's all I can ask for. I find it weird to bring this stuff up because I got a new job recently, and like, I'm not gonna like put on my resume that I was a Nintendo guy. So somebody like, oh, look at this video we found, like, because somebody worked with knew me, and they like put it up on the screen so everybody could see me and shit. So even at 43, it's still an awkward, weird thing to bring up among other adults.
On my business card, it doesn't say Nintendo World Champion.
No. So you're in college now.
Yes.
So did you stay in state or did you go far away? Like,
I went to school in Cleveland.
Okay, so at least you were still sort of living at home-ish.
I could go back on the weekends, but
Right. Okay. So you're sort of not practicing, but this thing's coming up. You talk to the 12-year-old when you're already there in Hollywood, which is the other fun story that it was going to be in Florida, and they moved it out there.
Well, backtrack 1 second. When you won the city championship, you got $250, I believe. So I took that money and I actually bought a Game Boy with that. Okay. I remember going to Toys R Us, using that Nintendo cash to buy a Game Boy. And then when the time came, I remember we flew down to Cincinnati Airport. Okay. And the Cincinnati champion was there, and we actually played head-to-head on the Tetris Game Boy.
Nice.
And I have a picture of that. Can't find pictures, but I want to show you that picture.
I want to see that.
It's awesome, and he kicked my butt.
Yeah, it's a different game. It's playing fast versus letting it come.
And that's when I knew there was a lot of people in this world that are really good at Tetris.
And it keeps growing, but we'll get to that eventually. So you're going in the toughest age group. Although you do have an advantage being older, I would think.
I was 18 at that time.
Yeah, so like Bob Lightman was 18, but he was in the 18 group. So it was really that peak 13 to 18 is like your best players. The young kids are okay. The old guys are just, they basically had to be 18 to be really good, I think. But you have no expectation of winning this thing, I would take it, as soon as that happens at the airport.
I was worried. I mean, you always have to go in thinking that you're going to do well. Right. Why bother if you're not going to think you're going to do well? So, I remember there were articles in Nintendo Power about certain players that had won the championship, like their city championship near the end, and they were really good.
Yeah, they're breaking 2 million, I think.
Yeah, they were showing their scores and everything.
So you're winning 800,000-ish?
I think it was around that range, 900 maybe. Maybe I broke a mil at one time. But that's where the scores were at that point.
And one other, do you remember the kid he went up against in the head-to-head part?
The only thing I remember about him is that he topped out when we were head-to-head in Tetris. That's the only thing I remember. I don't remember.
So the pressure got to him and you won by default, which just sucks, but it's great for you. I mean, do you remember, could you hear the announcer saying that and you just kind of like sigh of relief?
Well, you were kind of side to side.
Right.
When you were playing, so you could, I saw him like, gasp or give up, or that he knew he topped out, and then Tori Torek, I think, said that he had topped out. So I don't remember his name.
And then I don't
remember my scores that I got.
Don't remember your score?
Like Robin and all those guys who can remember their scores. Wow, I don't know if they wrote them down or just have a great memory. I can't remember that.
Well, you're older than they are, so
yeah, I don't know.
And maybe at 18 you're not. 13 is that kind of like 12, 13 age, like right before you get into the opposite, or right before the hormones kick in, or right in the middle of. Like I remember all the baseball stats from that time, because like when I was 13, the Reds won the World Series that year. It was 1990, so it's like I remember all that shit. And I think it's like that magical time when you're just hyper focused on, you understand stuff and you can focus on whatever you want and understand everything. But whereas now I don't, I barely remember.
I remember events, I just don't remember scores or
right.
names.
So at 18, you're starting to filter out the stuff that's not important.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. I'm just blowing theories out there. But like, so you win your head to head. You're in Hollywood.
Yeah. Eventually, initially I think it was going to be in Florida.
Right. I guess somebody had the story back. Was it Ambler? I think there was a fire or something, or I don't remember.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know the story either. I remember I had to get notarized. So I went down to the bank with my dad to notarize our paper that I was who I was, and I was going to California to compete in the...
Did your dad go with you as your plus one?
No, it was actually my brother.
That's cool.
Yeah.
He was older?
Yeah, he was older.
So what kind of... that's a good time then, like two young men going out by this on
that was actually the
time.
first plane ride I ever went on, so that was kind of cool. I remember we flew over the Grand Canyon, and they kind of like dipped the plane, and you say, "Oh, look out! There's the Grand Canyon to your right or left, or whatever."
I used to do that back on planes before.
Yeah,
they don't do that anymore. Did you smoke on the plane? Just kidding.
Not me. Maybe
you could have. Back then you could have.
Probably.
So you so what's you go to the 12-year-old kid's house, or his hotel room, and learn this stuff, and you're kind of panicking, I guess, but you don't want to embarrass yourself. That's your goal.
Yeah.
Like, so you got a goal in mind, and so I think the format again was sort of the same. It's the 30 played, and they took the top 7. And
you're right. I think we all. If you've seen the videos or pictures, they had all the TVs lined up, and you all played at one time.
Right.
And I didn't get past that stage.
Okay.
But the thing is, we got to practice beforehand. I remember that. We had stations set up that had the tombstone. Have you
right,
seen?
yeah.
So you had your name on there,
yeah.
and you got to practice a little bit. I have some pictures of that. And I do remember seeing Thor play.
Oh, shit.
There was like a TV that was set up in the lobby area, and he was playing on it on the floor, and people were like gathered around him watching. I do remember that.
He was already a legend.
Oh yeah, people already knew.
And his name was fucking Thor. When you're 18, no internet, and there's a guy named Thor destroying this video game, I just can't imagine.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's crazy. But when all the good players are gathered, it just shows you like the levels of the tiers, how like as good as you're the king of your playground basketball court, and then all of a sudden like a real professional a real college player comes in and destroys him.
He was the real deal back then.
Yeah.
Everybody knew him. So we practiced. There was like a banquet that they had, and then we toured around Universal Studios. Saw like Jaws exhibits and all the exhibits they had there.
Before the competition. So you're like sort of into it, but sort of nervous. Like I'm trying to imagine.
It was just fun for a couple of days. A bunch of kids hanging out, and then the competition came around.
Right. And then I never got this. So after the competition, did you leave the very next morning?
We stayed the night. Some people I think left that day, but we stayed the next day and left then. So we got prizes. We had like a boom box. Took that on the plane home, and I got there was like when we were practicing on the stand, there was like your name. So you probably seen it was like a
like a name plaque.
Name plaque.
Yeah,
I took that. I did not take the tombstone, and I wish I would have.
Oh god. Yeah. Well, anything from that is just so valuable now. Like that was my thing when I knew in 15. It's like I took
everything.
I took every freaking piece. I still have like the goddamn documents I signed just that stuff because I know that somebody's gonna give a shit one of these days.
Yeah, I seen the Bob Whitman video that you guys did with him, and he kept everything in his scrapbook, or his dad did, and I think that was so awesome.
Yeah, because those pictures, if you got a chance to look through that scrapbook,
I would love to take a look at it.
Yeah, I hope I think he's digitizing it or something because it's old school photography, and his dad passed away after that, and that's kind of like their bonding moment.
Yeah, that's cool. I love one thing about Bob, his picture when he's playing. They have a picture of like his foot on a speaker or something.
Nice.
And he's up there.
He looks like a rock star.
Yeah, he looks like a rock star.
Like a guitar solo with it.
He had the hair that was like a mullet hair. It was great.
So good.
Yeah, it's great to see that interview for him if you watch.
Well, I'm just glad we found him. I mean, because he was the lost champion. So I hope these videos just if nothing else, everybody can kind of get their stories down. Rather than just hold him, because I mean I've run into a couple guys that were in some of the Atari competitions, and one guy's like, I can't do it. I can't like talk to you on Skype. My health won't let me. So that's already happening. You don't think it's that long ago, but it really is. And
next year will be 30 years.
Next 30 years.
Wow.
It doesn't. It does, but it doesn't. So I mean.
Anywho, so I didn't get past the first round. Watched from the stands the rest of the competition, and it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. I think at one point they were thinking about putting it on TV.
Yeah.
I don't think that ever happened.
That was kind of what people were expecting, and like they were producing it like it was. I mean, Terry Lee Turok, just an obvious MC type. I think he went into TV afterwards. I think he did Video Power and stuff on.
I think he did something like that.
Yeah, and he did other competitions too. So I mean, he had a knack for it. I hope to get him on this one of these days.
Oh, that'd be cool. But so after the competition, went back to college. No big deal. I lost. Oh well. And then a couple months later, got a package in the mail. They sent everybody the cartridge. It's a great cartridge. And a video cassette of like...
The highlight. But it's like 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's not very long.
Yeah, it's like you can't... It's bad. I mean, it's great that it's there, but it doesn't really chronicle what the hell happened.
And I remember taking that cartridge back to college with me and playing it once in a while.
Right.
And then I just put it away. Like after that, a couple months later, I just put it in my closet, and it's...
So everybody's thinking right now, what did you do with it?
I still have it.
Okay, good. It's not lost. So we know where Mike.
I don't know the number. I wish I could find it. It's in storage, but it's in a safe place. So
okay,
I still have it.
That's all that matters. It's not lost to. It's not like that one they found with Mario and tape over it.
Is that real?
I don't know. It's still a great story if it is.
It's a great story, but I don't see anybody. I guess somebody could do it.
Somebody could have done it, or I think more of those exist than just the 90. Those guys on the crew probably stole some of those.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's how the 91 cartridge got found, because somebody took it.
I did see there was auctions about the jumpsuit that they wore.
Yeah.
So yeah, they got that stuff. Come on.
Yeah, like it was great at Retro City Fest. Dorian and Irosi put together a bunch of like a museum of all that stuff. It was really cool. Like they had a jumpsuit, they had a bunch of the tombstones.
But I'm really thankful that my parents never had garage sales.
Oh god.
Because you never know.
Oh man.
And I'm kind of a hoarder, so like a lot of the video games when I was a kid, I still have those.
Oh good.
So I still collect, and still got my trophy. Still have a lot of the paperwork, and I have pictures that I want to show you sometime.
Oh, awesome! Thank you. So afterwards, like, did you do any other? Did you kind of put the video games away in college? I guess.
Oh, I played it every once in a while. I had roommates who had an NES, and we'd play Tecmo Bowl. We'd play sports games just here and there, and just.
I mean, they had like the campus challenges. Did they ever come through to your school?
I heard about that, but the nearest spot that I heard it was in Ohio State.
Oh yeah, it's not worth the drive.
And I didn't go down there at that time. I did compete for the Star Fox weekend.
Oh, cool.
Yes, so in Canton, Ohio, at the Bell and Village Mall, they had a KB Toys, and that's where it was. And I remember going down there and competing in that, and I still have the pin and the shirt that I got.
Oh wow! So it's like, what is a qualifying score to get that?
Yep. Yeah, I think if you just competed, you got a pin, and then if you got a certain score, you got a T-shirt.
And then the winner got a jacket.
Got
and
a nice,
think they did
cool
like a
jacket.
And then like they drew a grand prize winner out of the winners or something like that.
Yeah. I wish I had that cartridge. That'd be cool to have.
You can find repros of it if you ask.
Really? The Star
Yeah,
Fox?
yeah, I got a repro of it. I know a guy. You might need a Star Fox donor, but never mind.
I make one then.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's interesting because if you play on an emulator, the timing's off, so you actually it goes longer because the frame rate. I guess it bases the clock cycle off the frame rate of the game, so you can actually get further into it and get astronomical scores. So
yeah.
It's weird. It's also that you beat the first two stages, then you loop around this weird third stage, and it goes and goes and goes if you have the timing messed up.
Yeah, so I didn't compete in the Blockbuster one for the Sega Genesis. I didn't do that.
Were you a Super Nintendo or Genesis kid? Or you weren't a kid at that point?
I liked them all, actually. I like Super Nintendo, I like NES. I really like the Sega Genesis library now. I enjoy playing the shoot 'em ups, and They have a great library, so I'm actually a big fan of all systems.
I kind of
retro systems.
Whenever the debate still comes up all these fucking years later, I basically just say 60-bit generation is in total is the best generation.
16-bit?
Yeah, just the Genesis and Super Nintendos, they're so different, and they both have their strengths, and put together, it's like the best to have them both. Like, I can't. It's mostly Nintendo fans that scream at the Genesis a piece of shit, and I'm like, come on.
No, I play them all. I play ColecoVision, I play Atari, I have a TurboGrafx, I like their games. I like all of them.
Yep.
So.
Then you get weird like the Vectrex, and then you
Vectrex was actually the first system I ever bought with my own money.
Oh wow! Like when you were a kid?
And I was like,
it was on clearance.
No, it was like
full price.
I was probably 13, 14. Probably paid $250 for it.
Wow!
Brand new.
Wow! That actually held its value.
The Vectrex is great because you didn't have to plug it into a TV. You could just like play it anywhere.
Totally.
Yeah. And I played Mindstorm so much.
You still have it?
I still have them.
Oh, wow.
I have like 3 or 4 Vectrex actually. Yeah.
That's funny. There was
But I still have the original that I bought in with the box and everything. Yeah.
When CCAG happened the first couple of years we came up here, and there was this. We did our shopping, and then we heard of this weird garage sale in the neighborhood.
Really?
And it was this guy who just had like Vectrexes and piles of. I bought like a Vectrex and Atari XGES.
Wow.
And like an Odyssey 2, I think. It was all this weird stuff, and it was super cheap, and I'm just like, it was like, I don't know where we found out about it, or the rumors, or...
What year was that?
It had to be early 2000s.
Okay.
But just, the Vectrex then by itself was amazing, but then like the XEGS is kind of like the best way to play the 8-bit games, because it had the cool white joystick, and it was a console, it didn't have to deal with the keyboards and stuff, but it's one of those weird memories that I don't, even though it was only 15 so years ago, I don't really, it seems like a fog, but I have so much good stuff from that one.
You would never find that stuff at a garage sale.
No, hell no. You wouldn't find that stuff at a convention.
No.
You don't find that stuff in Portland.
Do you still have that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, I have like 6,000 games now. It's ridiculous. It's a bad habit. Don't start now. When you started in the 90s when everything was affordable, like when NESs were floor to ceiling for $10 a piece.
Yeah. So I started collecting, really hardcore collecting, when I had a job where I drove around Cleveland fixing computers, and I'd always stop at thrift stores. I found, this was late 90s, I found so much good stuff cheap.
Oh yeah. I worked at a Micro Center in Columbus, and there was a game store across the street, Crazy Birds. They bought 10,000 NES games for $10,000. 10,000 cards for $10,000.
Okay.
They sold them for $5 a piece.
With the boxes or just
those cards, but they didn't look at them or anything. It was just sight unseen. They sold them for $5 a piece or 4 for $20 or something like that. I got all the Mega Mans, all the Dragon Warriors, I got so many goddamn games for $5 that are like, and they got 500% profit from their investment. It's just crazy just to think that would have ever happened then or now. Like.
Yeah.
I don't think you could unload 10,000 Genesis sports games for $10,000 now.
Probably my best find at a garage sale was Dragon Warrior 4 for $1. I got out there so fast.
This is the 90s, man. They didn't know.
They didn't know. That was the only game they had there at the garage sale too, which was kind of like blew my mind.
Wow. See, that's the only way I'll ever find like an NWC or something, or some weird ass Red Sea crossing, or it'll be somebody who doesn't know what it is. And I've come across it before, and I tell them that it's worth something. Yeah,
it depends if you want to be that person, like, this is worth that much.
Yeah, one year in Portland, they had a NBA, for the Sega CD, it was the Sony game, the Sony NBA game, which is like a rare Sega CD game. Okay. But it's a sports game, so nobody knows that unless you know. And like, hey, you know this is worth more than $5, right? And they're like, oh, really? And they look it up. It's like, oh, wow. But then they sold it to me for 10. So if you're honest with them, then they might be cool about it.
Yeah.
So sometimes be honest. I don't know. There's no moral. I'm just relating a story. But so how did you discover the Tetris scene in like 2010? Like how did that come about? Because it wasn't a YouTube sensation yet. The documentary sort of made a blip, but that third year in Portland, it was kind of like a low attendance. I think they were kind of on the verge of not going on, and that was the year that you went.
Right. Well, there was a Tetris competition at the Midwest Gaming Classic.
Oh, right.
That was probably the first one. That was the first one I competed in. It was in 2009.
Okay.
and that
That
one
was
I
was that the
won.
one? Was that the one Ben won in the documentary?
So I think that was 2010, and I played against him in the finals.
Okay.
And
That's that
he should have
weird-
never been in the finals.
Ben.
He knows what I'm talking about. He got lucky, but
But that was that weird no
it was good.
flipping.
It's good for the documentary.
Ben was the hero of that documentary. That's what people keep forgetting.
I wasn't in the
Sorry,
documentary. I
Jonas,
think
love
you see the back of my head, but I didn't sign the paperwork.
Oh.
Saying that, it's okay to put you in there. It's like, so I'm just playing some stupid competition, and Anyway,
Were you max out player yet?
no.
No. Okay. So let's go through your tester history.
So then, I think I came back the next year, and like Josh Tolles started showing up, and Chad Mew started showing up there in Midwest Gaming Classic, and that's how I met those guys.
Right.
And they were already like really, really good players. Like Chad, he blew my mind when I saw him play, and so
Chad's old enough. Did he do NWC? Like, did he even try or know about it? I talked to him a little bit in Portland.
About it.
It's such a weird club. I mean, some of the guys are like open, and here I am. And
Yeah. I met Frank there too. Right?
Yeah, but I don't think Frank was in it either. He's just kind of took the record after the fact, or was he actually in it?
I think he competed in it.
Like,
what
he was
I
like me.
understand.
He didn't
Yeah,
win
he
it.
didn't, he didn't get any. He didn't. Yeah, win anything.
Right.
I think he did compete in it. So I met those guys there, and it was great meeting them, and I think we're friends. I mean, we don't like talk all the time, but when we see each other, I mean, we're friendly to each other.
It's a good club.
Yeah.
I haven't met a jerk yet in the Tetris scene.
Nah.
I know it's coming, and I'm more nervous about it. But you just, I talked to some of the guys up running this Cleveland thing, and Ryan, he just like, oh, I ran this tournament. This guy broke a controller, and we wouldn't let him. Like, I've never had any of this happen in any of these puzzle games. So thanks for being cool Tetris people.
Yeah, so I wrote down, because I have the trophy still at home, what I won in Midwest. So I won the 2009, came in second place in 2010. I don't remember what happened in 2011. I can't remember if I was there. But then I won again in 2012. I think the finals were on SNES Tetris, because you got the both same piece sets, and you just play like best three games.
And that's garbage Tetris, SNES, or did you play single player?
It was garbage. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a different mindset. You got to play fast.
So, and then I've also went to, that's when they had in Las Vegas, they had the Classic Gaming Expo.
Yeah, yep, I went to those.
Did you go to those?
I went
to
to
2012?
12 was the last one, right?
I think it was.
Yeah.
There was a period where they had a whole bunch of them, and then they stopped for a while, and then they had a couple.
They did, yeah. I went to 10 and 12. And 12 was sort of like the guys from Retro Gaming Roundup did it before they did their big breakup over the Mike Kennedy shit. And then, but I went to that one, and I really cherish that now because like Keith Robinson, that's why I met him, and he's passed since then. And I met the guy who did all the Odyssey 2 games. I'm terrible for forgetting his name. He literally programmed 25 out of the 30-some games for the Odyssey 2 by himself.
I think they wanted to make that more of an industry show, the one in Vegas.
Yeah.
But they could never
Like the alumni show.
The alumni show, stuff like that. But their attendance was not very good.
And now those guys opened a museum in Texas, which I need to go visit.
The digital press guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hung out on the digital press website a lot back.
Oh yeah, me too.
But anyway, I want to show you the trophy that I won there in 2012.
Oh,
I don't know if you've ever seen this one, but it was like the NWC contest they had.
Yeah, it was NWC plus NCC put together, and you won that.
Yep.
Fucking A, dude.
Yep. So here's a trophy. I still have it. A little dusty. And
That's great.
I don't know if anybody knew that. And here's like a T-shirt.
Still in the bag.
Still in the bag.
Nice.
It was brought to you by PriceCharting.com.
Oh, wow, they were around back then.
Yeah.
Because that's right
2012.
that was right around when the NCC card came out. I remember they did a competition at the CCAG up here in Cleveland for it, and I had never played it before. And I was like, I can get Dr. Mario chains like nobody's fucking business. And I didn't win it because the prize was winning the cartridge, but then I picked up the cartridge soon after that.
I think I was there at that time. Maybe we just
When it was at the I didn't know anybody at the time. I'm shy too. It wasn't until my NWC thing that I kind of broke out and started actually talking to people. But
so that's 2012, and I did go to the Tetris event that they had at the college campus, which in 2011.
Okay.
I did go there, and then I didn't qualify because they still had the they were still doing Type B at that time.
Right. It was only the top 8, I think, they took.
Yeah.
So it was pretty tight to get in then.
Yeah. I remember I played it, didn't qualify. It had a nice auditorium there.
Yeah, it was
real nice. And then afterwards, I remember Adam talked to me. He was like, "Hey, we're having a viewing of our documentary. You want to go?" I was like, "Sure." So we went down somewhere in LA and watched the film in some theater. That was pretty cool. And then it was in 2012 they went to Portland.
Oh, well, let's talk about that then, because this is your year.
Yep.
So everybody's seen a documentary at this point that's into it. And Twin Galaxy's still sort of a thing. Were you into that scene at all?
Twin Galaxies, I wasn't submitting scores or anything though.
But did you even keep track or kind of know?
I think I looked at it. I remember seeing some names and seeing their scores, but
You haven't maxed out yet.
nope.
And
I was getting around 700,000.
right, so you're on the precipice. You're if you ever at this point. Were the strategies well known? What were you doing differently then that you do now to max out?
I didn't know about tapping, like the quick tap.
Yeah,
I didn't do that. I didn't do a lot of spins or tucks at all at that point. I'm always, if you've watched me play, it's a very conservative player.
Yeah.
So nobody tapped at that time. It was all DAS.
I love the story when they talk about how whenever somebody covered up their well in the early days, people would gasp. Because it was go home or it was like go big or go home. There was never strategic burning just wasn't even considered back then. But you'd obviously made it to the kill screen and shit.
Oh yeah, I try to actually when I practice I try to get to the kill screen even if my score's not that good, just because you gotta learn how to play and keep playing.
Do you learn? That's what I noticed this year was so many aggressive games in 18. Destroyed by the transition. Just just survive.
Yes.
You're giving if you top out level 22, you're giving your opponent 70 lines to work with.
Yeah.
So they can have a garbage Tetris rate and can come back, which ironically is how Dan beat you this past qualifier in Pittsburgh, but that's another story.
Yeah.
But it's just I think that's the meta is to kind of pull it back a little bit on the throttle and I know Joseph goes hard. But even in the finals this year, I don't think there was a level 29. I don't think either one got to the kill screen in any of those 5 games in the finals. I'd have to watch the video again. Which
I think Green Tea and
that top 8 game when they both broke a million, that was amazing, and that's the highlight of the tournament, honestly. But I think there's a concentration factor in these things, and if you play it too much, too long, you just can't keep it up.
Yeah.
And playing all goddamn day does have an effect on people at some point. It just can't be at peak performance for 2+ hours.
Yes. I mean, Saturday's qualifying, so a lot of times you try to qualify all day long. You're standing up, getting in line, playing. It's very exhausting.
And that's what I love about the round 0, though. It's you get a reward for getting that top 8 because round 0 just sucks after playing all day.
Oh yes.
And that's what happened. That's what happened to all those upsets, man. You got to play a fuck again, but yeah, just darn the cussing. Well, let's go back to your 2012.
Yeah, so 2012.
Right.
I remember I played Alex. I think I played Bo.
Yeah.
And they topped out. I think that's when we didn't have the same piece sets.
No, that wasn't introduced until after Harry won.
Yeah. So they actually did record it. I think it's in black and white and there's no sound.
I remember watching on stream. I was it was on some terrible girl gamer or something. It was some weird stream. Yeah, because my friend, I wanted to go out to Portland because I was like, this is amazing. It got this big show. I got out there the next year. But I was watching it, and Jonas won again. It was great.
Me,
but
I think it was 2 out of 3 for the finals at that time.
Right. Did you didn't take a round on him?
No.
But you got to the finals, and you got paid, and
yeah, I got $500.
That paid for your flight, kind of, mostly, or hotel. I don't know. It was
better than nothing.
Especially then.
That trophy.
You got. Do you have do you have the real block trophy, or was it a different?
No, I still have it's like a diamond clear shaped trophy.
And that's one of the few that have left the state of California. It's you and Corion and Jeff Moore. That's it.
Yep.
All the rest are in California.
Yep.
Freaking hell.
But then after that they went to the T block, but my trophy's a lot cooler.
it's shinier.
Yeah, if you want a trophy, you probably want that trophy than the T block. But Don't you think they should change that up? Get a different trophy?
Get a different piece every year?
Something different.
I like the consistency. It's like the Super Bowl trophy. I don't know. That's my look. I look at seeing all. I was in Jonas's room, saw all the damn trophies on the shelf, and it's kind of impressive. But I do like. I don't know. That's a good question. We'll put it up to the comment section about what they think about the trophies. I think they should have more of them. I think a third place game would be nice.
Oh yeah.
But
time allowed.
It's a time allotment thing. Everybody's exhausted, and is third place really a braggadocious thing, or just kind of they don't do it in the NCAA tournament anymore? So
anywho, so
yeah. See,
I remember back then it was a top 32, and a lot of times people didn't even show up for that round. So it was like, a couple of people didn't show up at top 13. Now, was it 64?
It was 48 this year.
48.
Yeah, 670 qualifier for top 48. There were some people who didn't make it who should have, but
Yeah, I think they were just trying to get people to. Back then, they were just trying to get anybody to play.
Yeah,
but
seriously,
now,
come on, guys.
Show up to play.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how much this thing has grown, and I really have high hopes for where it goes from here on out. I mean, I know you didn't get to make out this year, but we missed you. I tried to mention it on stream, and then like the cool moment, I think, I'll say it again. I talked to you about it earlier. It was you and Dan QZ in the final in Pittsburgh this year, and like
I felt really good actually in Pittsburgh.
You were playing
Even
great.
Though I did play pinball.
Who'd you play against in the first two rounds?
Brady.
Yeah, you beat the previous champ.
Yeah.
Who always a tough out.
Yeah.
And who'd you beat in the second round? You were seeded 1, weren't you?
No, I was. I wasn't even seeded 1 or second. I was like 4th or 6th.
I had to look it up.
Yeah.
And who'd you beat in the second round? Was it D'Lo? No.
No, it was Metal Beast, right?
Yeah. You beat Metal Beast, so you beat the top 2 finishers from the previous year.
Yeah. I was playing really good. I felt really good. I was playing good. I was playing conservative but good.
Right.
In my opinion, I didn't top out in any of the rounds, and I think I won 2-0, 2-0.
So here you are, this kid with his whack-ass, shitty third-party controller.
Yeah, was that allowed?
It's out there now. He was talked to, and I guess the rule is it's a first-party controller or appropriate facsimile. So I think he uses a Hyperkin controller.
Yes.
So it's got those little angles on it, but there's no turbo or anything on it. And I think the Hyperkin people should be happy about that.
I think when I talked to him, he's a good guy. I talked to him at the show, and I was like, I gave him a little bit of,
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. But what's beautiful is...
The thing is, I never seen Dan play on stream. I don't know, I missed that. I know he'd been playing in tournaments online. I've never seen him play.
I try to keep up, at least to check in on people. Mm-hmm. Trying to be a professional commentator guy. I'm not very good at it.
Sorry.
Hello.
That's fine.
Edit that out. Sorry. But he wasn't even a max out player yet at that point. So he had gotten even that click in your brain when you unlock the next tier of play. That it happened after the damn Pittsburgh qualifier. I
think he really needed to show up and play against somebody else in person.
Yep.
To get that click what you're talking about.
Yep. Totally. With my game, that's what happened. It's like the NWC 15 game, when I qualified, my high score was only 5 million, and I'd average into 3 millions. And then when I went to Iowa to get my card from the Twin Galaxies guys, or it wasn't, whatever it was, I started hitting 7 in the car ride. I was like, oh, hey, it just that unlock in your brain, it really does exist, and you just get it from grinding. But it was super cool to see. I don't know, 17 or 18 at the time. He's virtually the same age you were when you were competing, and I thought it was beautiful. And then I didn't think to say anything about it at the time. I did bring it up when Dan was qualifying. I also wanted to bring up, that we missed you. I went out there at Portland this year, but 30 years later, we're playing the same goddamn game, and no other video games like that.
I never thought 30 years later I'd be playing Tetris. No, There's no way. No.
You were senior high school as a lark. You didn't care about it in college.
It was just fun. Yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm okay at it. Let's go see what I can do.
And here we are playing the same. And we
have Robin to blame for that. Who do we have to blame for that? I'm so
Robin was the guy who said in a whatever substance he was on at the time. I think it was ADD medication or whatever. He basically said, "We're gonna have this tournament. We're gonna bring all these."
He went out to the desert, took some pioneer, dug up some NES, and I mean, he saw blocks falling in the shower. I never seen blocks falling in the shower.
No.
So whatever he was on, I have to blame him for me still
playing this damn game 30 years later. No other video game is anywhere close to that. Like, I run dumb retro tournaments sometimes. We did like a Super Mario tournament at the Columbus Toy Show, and
was it like a level 1 Fire Mario? That kind of one?
It was Chris Tang's format when he won in Hawaii. It was 10 minutes, get as far as you can, and then the score was the tiebreaker.
That's pretty cool.
And it was great because the final four, everybody was in 8-4. One guy beat it. 3 other people took their time and got more points, but didn't have enough time to finish it. And I was one of those 4. It's like I had the more points, but the pressure was on, and I fucked up that last jump right before Bowser. And it was like, but it was so great. Everybody was so into it. It was such a cool format because a lot of the speedrunners with the multiple try, reset till I get the perfect run. And I kind of like the pressure of the one and done thing.
Yeah, most of the tournaments that I've seen for Super Mario Brother would have been Fire Mario 1, where you have to get to level 1, you have to be Fire Mario at the end, and your time determines who's the winner.
Okay.
They had a couple of times at Midwest Gaming Classic, so it's cool to see different formats. But people interested.
That's kind of like the most iconic NES game.
Mm-hmm. It's Pac-In.
But it was the Pac-In. Everybody who's played it has played it. But Tetris is just so much more mainstream recognition outside of the Nintendo sphere.
Yeah.
It's so weird. We just don't. I mean, the best GDQ videos got like 2 million views, and here's these weird ass Tetris videos with 10 million. It's something about it. I can't explain it.
There were so many clones of Tetris that came out on computers and everywhere else. It was just ridiculous.
Insert Tetris joke here.
But the original NES is the competition.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's still playing it all these years later. People are holding their controllers like freaks, putting on tables, cross-armed. However they got to do it, they're doing it, and they've all somehow adopted the Thor thing. And I
think everybody has their own style, and I like that.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I love center well play. I love the weird tucks. I love it all. I love that.
There's tons of strategy on how do you make your builds.
I love seeing the occasional player come in who only uses the A button still, doing the triple flips at the last second.
I love that.
It's so beautiful. It's not, you totally don't want to do it, but I just
gasping when they're doing it. It's like, oh my gosh.
I love it though. I just love that they still learn it, and it's a comfort thing, because I know that when I play like Tetris 99, I'm not flipping the damn B button. It's too goddamn fast to think about. I just stick with the A because it lets you. So I don't know. That's a bad thing to admit. I'm a one-way flipper on Tetris 99.
I've never played it.
Never? You have a Switch? Mm-hmm. It's free. It's
free.
It's the modern rules with the sliding back and forth.
I watched streams spins on it and people playing it, and I actually have I used to play on my Nintendo DS, the online.
Virtually the same thing. But with 99 people instead of 2.
But I hate when people can do the
infinite weird, grind it into a whole weird.
Yeah, when they can do the build and then they slide it in there and it's.
It's an odd beast, but it's cool to. It was interesting because more than one person came down to Portland this year because I'm really good at Tetris 99. I want to take a shot at this, and then stick. And nope. And the hour wait on top of it.
Didn't Tang have a Boom Tetris in some game? Then they put that in there for. I thought I heard something about that.
Yes,
was it
Tetris Effect on the PS4.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
It was one of the trophies to unlock, was the Boom Tetris trophy.
That's
and then in Tetris 99, it does you see your playfield and there's the other 98 players on either side. You just see like a real microcosm of their screen. But when they get a Tetris, you see a little boom effect go over it. So it's been adopted into the lexicon. And
does he get money for that?
Well, he attributes it to Terry Lee Torok, so. And at first when I started announcing, I didn't want to say it because I thought it was his line, but I like that it's become a thing, and if people want to, it's good. I like it.
What else can you say?
Bam, biff, pow.
Yeah, I think some people are tried to create words for Tetris Boom, but
right. You just, I like it. I don't know. It works, and maybe neck and neck is a little dumb. You need some better words for ties, but whatever got people it meme magic, man. It's a stupid video about Boom Tetris for Jeff, and then that caused the next wave, and then the 16-year-old would cause another wave, and now, like how often do you max out these days? Like, if you play 10 games, are you going to get 1 or 2? Or is it kind of like you have to work at it?
Maybe like 1 out of 20?
1 out of 20? Okay.
Yeah, I really have to try very hard.
Right. So, like, if you qualify for an hour at CTWC, you're not going to max out necessarily.
No, my highest scores there have been in the 800, middle 800s. So, yeah.
That would still get you top. That would have gotten you top 16.
I hope. I don't want to play round 0.
Oh.
It's stressful.
That is. I don't know what they're going to do next year. They're going to get a bigger room, I think. But there's all kinds of. They sent out surveys about double eliminations and forced 18 starts, which I totally agree with.
Yes, you definitely have to do qualifying on level 18.
Yes, just to keep the line moving.
This is 2019. You should be playing.
I think if you get a max out, the tiebreaker should be a level 19 start. Because Joseph had 4 max outs at 18, and that kind of got ridiculous. It's like 19 is just a quicker game, and it rewards you for maxing out earlier in the day.
Didn't Terry got a 19?
Terry got a 19 max out for his qualifying score.
Wow.
After he had his stage time, he went back, did a 19 start, got a max out. He made it to the goddamn final 8 too.
Yeah, he played awesome.
He's sneaky. Everybody, because he doesn't streamer stuff, so everybody forgets about him. He's just kind of like the local champ.
I didn't know Terry, but there was a website called Tetris Concept, I think. Have you ever gone to that?
I've heard of that.
And his screen name was really weird. Like, what you got your groom? Or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
And he'd post all the time, and I was like, this guy's kind of weird. And then I met him. And
this guy's kind of weird.
He's kind of weird. But he's a good guy.
No, I love him.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So, yeah, this year, 2019, was the first time that I did not go in 8 years. So I went 8 years to Portland and competed.
And you'll probably go back. You're not retiring.
No, I'm not retired. You don't have to run. You don't have to jump. My fingers still work. My brain still works. So
I kind of wonder about that.
Sometimes you need to take a break, though.
You do. Like, I kind of, like with Jonas, like everybody's like, oh, he's aged out. He just had a bad day. Everybody has a goddamn bad day. And he's got this reputation now, and he's got a bunch of fans now, and I think he was kind of used to being the heel, and now that he's got people cheering for everything he does, and maybe he's trying too hard. It's such a I don't know if I described it on this, but it's like if you're running extra lines of code about how aggressive you have to be at certain moments, you're already changing the way you play. And I know that when I was doing my thing, we were doing our dumb little game today. I only got $1 million on NWC, and then I got another game and I did even worse. And it's like I was thinking too much about it, and I can imagine if you're just overthinking, over-concentrating, trying too hard, it's really easy to get out of what you're used to doing. And the risk-reward bell curve, or whatever you want to call it, is so thin in Tetris anyway. Like, anybody can get to level 29, that's good. Mm-hmm. But they'll get a 300,000 point score.
You just do lines.
Right, if you just do lines, anybody can get to level 29. So it's like, how many risks are you going to take? And it's just that's the essence of the game. And if you're pushing that too hard because Joseph can play so high, that just throws off your entire game. That's my pet theory for Jonas, but who knows?
He did a lot of traveling too this past year, going all over the world. So
and playing video games is a job now, and maybe I know that any hobby I've taken up that's become a paid gig, I instantly don't like it as much anymore.
I thought it was very strange. After he lost, they put him on commentary. What?
I don't know if Arda invited him or he just came over. He's good on
take
it.
A break. He's a great commentator, but
he needed. I think he got his beer. I don't know. I love the guy no matter what.
I'm sure he'll be back.
He's going to get one more run. Maybe he won't win the whole title again. And I'm also pushing to name the fucking trophy after him. So Vince Lombardi only won 2 Super Bowls and they named the trophy after him. So I think winning 7 is worth having the damn trophy. But then again, maybe that implies he's retiring, and maybe he doesn't want to retire either. But I don't know. Well, you have anything else to add?
He does a lot of streaming, so
it's his full-time job now. I mean, he has some biz dealings on the side, but it's good for him. And Heather's a good person. love that I want to get them on the show, even though they never did any of this stuff, just because it's retro themed. Maybe that would break the rule for those two.
So what year did you compete in the Nintendo World Championships?
2015.
2015.
I played in '90. I was 13. I got to the semifinal round.
So what year? The 2015 was 25 years.
Yes.
So next year is 30 years.
Next year's 30 years.
Are they going to do anything? That's what I want to know.
Well, here's the bullshit for 19 was they had a bunch of events at E3. They had like the Splatoon Championship and the Smash Brothers Invitational, and then they had like a Mario Maker 2, but they only invited like some popular streamers to play.
Personalities.
Yeah, like Abdul Smash, I like him. Yellow Killer Bee, a couple people who were in like the 17. But then they rebranded all that after the fact as Nintendo World Championships 2019 for like broadcast.
Huh.
Yeah,
I didn't really.
Yeah, so that it wasn't even branded that at the time, or I would have like made a bigger effort to document what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But John, it kind of.
Did the past winners show up and play, or they didn't invite those guys?
John Numbers nearly qualified for the Smash Brothers as a team. He won his regional, but then he didn't win the North American part of it. So they had like 4 regionals in North America. They all played online. It wasn't like a flying out thing. Then they took like the North American, Japanese, European, and I think South America. They had like 4 regional teams go out to E3 to play, and he didn't make it to the world final. But he was damn close to making 3 of these things officially, which would have.
I think it'd be cool if Nintendo could invite some of the old guys out to one of these events. I'd go.
No,
I'm sure Robin would go. I'm sure D-Lo would go. Let's get all these guys go back.
They had Thor and Hansen in the crowd for 15, but apparently they both left in the middle of the show. I mean, I would have. I've heard, whatever. I don't know what was going on.
Most of the games,
I would have loved to have had them on stage with Miyamoto at the very end.
Oh.
That would have been. I would have loved like, hey, this is John Numbers, this is Thor. Like hand the trophy. I mean, that would have been cool, but it didn't happen now.
I really liked the underground part they did at that.
Oh God, yeah.
That was fun watching the play Zelda and the kid. They had a Game Boy Tetris, right? Nobody knew how to play it, so I'm sure if they invited us old guys there, and we got to the underground, we just.
I talked to Dan Santos on the show. He was the only one who got a Tetris on that. He won it.
That was so fun watching.
But they played on level 10, and like if you play Tetris 99 or Tetris Effect or something, and then all of a sudden they throw Game Boy Tetris at level 10, which is pretty freaking fast, and those pieces stick, you're effed. And all those poor kids. I was there, I was in the crowd for it too, and it's like, Game Boy Tetris, oh my God, and then they played so terrible, I felt so bad for them.
That was cool how they did that, all the modern games, and then
the underground, yeah, totally, because that's what I did in 15, I won the Zelda race, and it was like, I got my freaking moment, 25 years too late, I got to be 13 again, and it was like, I'm playing my old game. Here I am. Here's my moment.
Yeah, the promo, like the intro promo for these podcasts you do.
Yeah.
You were very excited at one point.
That was when I won. That was they showed on Disney XD. That and me crying after I was backstage because I was just like, I'm an emotional guy. I've got a kid. When you're an emotional husk like I am, you just lose it at every moment. It's
one of those. It's like a Chris Tang moment when he won his and he's doing his thing. It's like one of those moments.
That was my goal. I walked in, I was like, I'm going to be goddamn 13 years old. I was jumping up and down. I was super excited. Everybody else is all business because they were just, like, they showed us, they did like the dress rehearsal and they showed us this big stage. It's nice and blue and shiny and everything's sparkling and I'm like, this is awesome! And like people were just staring at me. So I doubled down. I was like, this is super awesome! And people were like, whatever, dude, shut up. But I knew I'm old. I mean, I got a second chance to do this thing. So, and I made it a point to keep in touch with all these guys, and I've done a pretty good job, at least with the 8 of us that qualified. Mm-hmm. I know, like, I've talked to Sinister and Mexican Runner a couple times since then. But do you miss any of the guys? I mean, has this been your only chance? Like, the Tetris thing's probably the only chance you've like run into any other finalists. Yeah,
that's the only time I've really talked to anybody. Yep.
Okay, and. It kind of sucks. I mean, I wish there was somebody with a lot of money that can make a reunion happen for you guys, even if you had to pay your own way or something. Just let's go hang out in Portland and have a big panel or have a group photo or something. Like, and I don't even know if they know where all 90 of you are. Like, there's some like girls that won it and stuff, and the one in Chris Tang's like the second one's funny because I guess some girl was on vacation in Universal Studios or something. she won this competition, so they went on sub-vacation. They were already on vacation in Florida, then they flew out to San Francisco to do this thing. I'd love to find her and see that
Nintendo
story.
got money, come on.
Yeah,
They got money.
Especially now the Switch doing so well. I mean, mine was Wii U money, so they didn't even give anybody any prizes. We got nothing.
Yeah. So, yeah, think about it, Nintendo. 30 years.
Yeah, do something big.
Do something. We can play against those Twitch personalities or YouTube stars.
Tetris will,
No problem.
Tetris is, you guys got a good Tetris relationship now. 99's doing well. Like, play some 99 and play some NES.
I can play some Mario. I can play
Play some Mario Maker. You'd be good at Mario Maker.
Yeah, I think I can do it.
Be good stuff. Well,
Yep.
thanks a ton for doing this. I really appreciate it. You know, it's good. I'm glad I got the face math finally right.
No problem.
And if you should get those pictures up, like I said, I want to get a actual website going with this podcast to show off people's paraphernalia and whatever else. So I will gladly add that to the list of stuff once I get my act together. But we got this down, and it's awesome. So thanks a lot.
No problem.
All right,
You're welcome.
Hey, take care, man.